Greetings fellow simmer and welcome to the reaction review with me, GripperSim. Today we're looking at Microsoft's 2020 Feature Discovery Series Episode 7 multiplayer. Flying gangs? Well yes, you can have a flying gang if you want. In this series, Sebastian Locke explains how multiplayer is going to work. Let's have a look at the key features of multiplayer. There's going to be one shared world, we'll talk about that first, and ways to engage in multiplayer are live players only, all players, and groups. Let's first have a look at one shared world.
Our goal with multiplayer was to provide users with a new experience that would bring all the pilots on the planet together in one shared online world.
So in this sense, you'll sit down with Microsoft 2020, you'll switch on online, and all of the players that are playing Microsoft 2020 around the world will be online. That's it. You don't have to configure any IP addresses or any technical mumbo jumbo. You won't have to select a server. It'll just work, which is something we haven't seen. Furthermore, on older flight simulators, you'd be playing multiplayer with your friends and it would get very juddery. In other words, what I mean is the aircraft you'd be looking at would be 200 feet ahead of you. All of a sudden, he'd appear upside down and 500 or 600 feet in front of you and then kick into play. This won't happen here because what Microsoft have done is they've used the AI to negate that. Not only that, but you can fly with real world traffic. If you're familiar with Flight Radar 24, it's an app on your phone. You can see the actual real life traffic flying all around the world because every aircraft has a transponder, and that's how Microsoft are going to get the real world traffic online while you're flying. The first way to engage in multiplayer is with live players. So, in other words, that means other players will be visible if they have also set their multiplayer settings to live players and they share the same air traffic settings. Recommended for the more authentic sim experience, of course, but you will have the real world weather only and you'll have the real world traffic included. So, this is what we've all been looking for. So it appears that we'll be seamlessly playing online with other players that are online and actual world traffic, which gets me to thinking how they're going to implement radio communications and air traffic control. The next multiplayer mode is all players. This is multiplayer but by your own rules. So you can change the weather, but everyone else is still online. So all players will be visible regardless of their settings unless they have their multiplayer to group only. I'll get to that. I'll get to groups. You can see everyone flying and you can change the weather dynamically and fly by the rules you want. Let's have a quick listen to what Sebastian said.
That mode is perfect for that. It's super easy, you turn it on and you're with also a lot of multiplayers, a lot of players online. Maybe you want to fly by certain rules but not at live weather or live time.
The third multiplayer option is groups. Other players will not be visible on the group, with the exception of group members you invited to the group. You can change the air traffic to actual live traffic or AI traffic or no traffic at all. You as a group creator dictate the weather conditions, the time of day, the departure airport, etc. Let's see what Sebastian has to say about this.
Or maybe you just want to fly with a small group, or you want to do your own session and just fly crazy without any rules. You can basically create your own chart. It's what we call groups. You create a group, people join the group. So the creator of the group can choose what weather he wants, what time he wants. He basically sets the rules and all the people who join follow the same rules. So this is really like a mini chart. This is like a mini session. It allows you to do whatever you want, but because you're the creator, only those who join your group will see you and will see what you did.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, the technology behind all this, I'm not really concerned with it because I can't change the technology behind it. Let's have a listen to the expert.
About the technology, so we've built multiple clusters around the world. So a cluster of servers is a place where we have in a data center, several servers which you connect to. When you launch the simulator, it automatically chooses the best location for you based on basically ping. So currently we have one running in Western Europe and one in Northern America. Based on ping, it's gonna select automatically the best one for you, but you can always manually choose one. For example, if you want to join specific players or if you want to be with a group of people, then you can choose a specific server. So because live air traffic can be tens of thousands of planes, multiplayer traffic can also be tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of planes, you will not see hundreds of thousands of planes when you fly. The servers automatically optimize the data they stream to you, and so for the live traffic you will receive from the servers all the planes which are within 200 kilometers. And for the multiplayer traffic, you will receive also planes which are within 200 kilometers, but limited to the 50 closest planes. So if there's less than 50 planes within 200 kilometers, you will see all planes. If there's more than 50 planes around you, you will only receive from the server the 50 closest one. So this is to save bandwidth in a situation where there would be thousands of planes gathering in the same place, and which would be less than 200 kilometers away. To make sure you don't get too many planes sent and too much data, we limit to the 50 closest. So the server does this automatically to you. You're in one single shard, all the players are in that shard, all the planes are there, all the multiplayer traffic is there. It is like if the servers were automatically creating mini sessions for everybody who's around, make you join the session, and only send you what you need to see. What I just explained was the planes that the server sends you. But then there's the planes which you can display. So this is really something which is mostly depending on the performance of your machine. There's going to be a limit and a limiting distance to how far you're going to see each aircraft. And basically, based on your graphics setting, if you tune this down, you will see less planes or you will see them closer to the camera. But the planes will always be there because the server sent them to you. So you can always enable an optional on-screen display of names, who is playing, of information. And you can see them on the radar, even if they are further away, if there's more planes than you can display in 3D, you will always see the planes, all the planes the server sent you, on your radar. And finally, we have developed advanced technology to make sure the flying experience is smooth and you see all the planes flying very smoothly. And so we have a dead reckoning and interpolation which works pretty well, and all the planes are super smooth. And you're not gonna see them disappearing or bouncing around. You're gonna see them flying super smoothly in space, and this allows for a great and smooth multiplayer experience to fly together. If you're going to go explore in a group, this is perfect to have this seamless experience and not be annoyed by any online glitches or lag problems.
So what's coming up in the next week or so? Well, we've obviously seen episode 7. The development roadmap preview for early April, May will be released. Early April, they'll have a feedback snapshot. Mid-April, episode 8, IF4 will be released. And then mid-April again, a partnership series update will be released. So episode 8 is coming up next on the reaction review. What else have they got to say? Well, as per usual, they have a feedback snapshot. They have the top questions. I'm not going to bore you to tears by reading every single one of them. They have the top alpha issues. Those are issues that people are having with the alpha, and the top wish list. Now, I do notice every single time they bring this feedback snapshot up, they have helicopters and VR. Now, they keep mentioning all these things, these questions, and I can only ascertain that they are actually going to bring VR to Microsoft Flight Sim, because if they weren't going to bring it out on release, they wouldn't mention it, would they? So, I'm really thinking one of these feature development series will be VR, and that's going to be a really, really big one. I mean, can you imagine what this is going to look like in VR, folks? It's going to be wow. There's no doubt in my mind that I will set up a multiplayer group and we'll all go flying and do some crazy Gripper Sim madness and Gripper Sim I Candy Go kind of stuff. Now, you will notice also on my channel there's a join button. I didn't announce it or talk about it yet, but to my surprise, 3 people have joined since I added the join button, and I'd like to thank them as per their perks at the end of every month. So when you join, you get a perk, and I'd like to thank them because it does actually help the channel fiscally. Whereas I'm pretty much doing this as a hobby, but it does take quite some time to make some of these videos. Some of them are 2.5 days worth. Now, I will put up some videos in the future of how I edit, make, and my flight setup and my sim setup. But I'd like to thank Flare Pilot, Graham, and Roger Utley for joining the memberships. Don't worry, if you don't join the memberships, nothing's going to change. I'm working on an X-Plane video for next Friday. Now, if I get it out on Wednesday, I'll do it, and then I'll do something else. But Fridays are definitely guaranteed. Wednesdays are a bonus. So yeah, I really want to get back into X-Plane. That last video I made with X-Plane, I had great fun doing it, and it flies so well. X-Plane really does fly so well. Microsoft, with regards to the flying, I hope they have the same or better than X-Plane 11.